Good morning, everyone. It's Michele Maher here, and I'm here with Andrew Hoffman this morning. Thank you so much, Andrew, for giving me your time to talk about these challenging times we're going through and how we can keep positive while getting creative in our business and pivoting possibly in our business and our life in general. So thank you,
Thank you,
Andrew.
Michele. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And as strange as it may sound, there is actually a lot to be positive about in these times. It's a great time to refresh, recharge, reevaluate, assess where you are, where you've been the last little while, and possibly go in a new direction with your business and or your personal life. But today, I'll talk about the business side of things, the personal aspect to another day, another person. And my business is myfranchisepartners.com. What I specialize in is people who are in a transition stage of their life, as in right now, but not usually this dramatic, quite frankly. People are in transition for a variety of reasons. They may have lost their job, the business may have closed, they may have decided they had enough of their current job, their employer, the industry, and they want to change. They may have always wanted to own a business, didn't know where to go, how to do it, what direction to go in. And sometimes it's an investment tool. In the franchise world, a lot of people invest in a business. It's a passive income opportunity for them. Meaning that, for example, I might own a franchise, maybe I hire someone like yourself to manage it for me, and we touch base while I maintain the security of my existing career, the benefits, income, et cetera, thereof, till the right point in time to make the transition full-time into the business. So there's a variety of reasons people connect with me to look at opportunities in that regard. And despite sort of some common impressions, perhaps, investments range from $20,000 to over $2 million. And the other one is you don't need to feel compelled to look at a franchise where you must wear a uniform. That actually is probably the minority of franchises. I can think of many where you work from your home, like we are today talking, for example, run a business, a low investment opportunity, and you never wear a uniform whatsoever. And people think of the big names and food and beverage, where they wear a hat, a shirt, a bib, the slacks, the shoes, the whole thing. And that actually is not overly common outside the food and beverage industry, surprisingly.
Okay, right. But I guess that when, like you say, it's the first thing people think about. They think about the common, the common big ones in the food industry.
Yeah, and actually in this, again, surprisingly, I suppose, the food and beverage industry is a meaningful sector, but in franchising, there are successful franchises in every industry you can possibly think of. You name the industry, the answer is yes. Somebody's franchised that thing to a varying degree of success. Now, what I do from my background and the clients that I work with is I tend to focus on ones that I call, for lack of a better phrase, serious income level opportunities. I'm looking at somewhere like a small franchise that might make you $5,000-$10,000 a year. No, if there's a potential of by second, third year of a six-figure income, we're talking now a serious opportunity for somebody as a new career, new job for them, or an investment for them as a passive income opportunity. And those ones are actually is quite a few available in Canada, the States, around the globe. And I deal with people who are in Canada already, they're moving here on a entrepreneur visa, et cetera, and walking through that entire process. So it's a very positive, uplifting experience for them. They come to Canada, rather than taking a job below maybe their status back home, that's something comparable here for a career for many years to come that they pass on to their children.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It's definitely a great opportunity. With this time, I think, initially we went through so much fear. When this first happened, there was a lot of fear that everybody was going through, and I found that it was quite easy to get, sucked into that fear, and you might not want to get out of bed. I think some people took a few days of just kind of existing, really, because everything was changing so often. But of course now now we're about 2 months that we've been kind of going along like this. So we're not having the same changes. People have got into a new routine now. But like you say, I think there's a lot of opportunity right now to to look at this, where initially we might have looked at it like, there was so much end of the world stuff I found at the beginning. Like
Yeah.
it's like we're never gonna have a future. Like
Yeah.
everything's wiped out and that kind of thing. And I think people realize, I think people have stepped away from that fear now. That's how I feel. But and are looking to see what they want to do going forward, who they want to be going forward as well.
100%. If you go back to another generation, my parents, for example, were born in the early 1930s. So they were old enough to understand and live the reality of the 30s. Then that was followed up by the rationing of the Second World War, right? So they had like 20 years of life well in before they got into a growth period in their lives in the 1950s. So Winston Churchill had a great saying. One of my favorite sayings he uses all the time is, I'm going to paraphrase, but there's nothing to fear but fear itself. So as you see, people got to get that first shock, right? They kind of say, holy smoke, like Chicken Little, the sky's falling in, what am I going to do? So you sit there and be Chicken Little and say, woe was me, or another phrase I like is kind of just get after it. You find a way to pivot and do something very positive. There are opportunities. So example I use is probably a moving and junk removal franchise with the curbside pickup, meaning your front porch, your garage, the driveway, at the actual curbside, and for junk removal. Some of their franchisees across Canada states are having the best weeks ever because they pivoted. So in your business, you have to figure out how to pivot. So typically speaking, in the franchise world, and many franchises, you'll have support groups. So you ask that the person, they compare independent business versus a franchise. You've got Andrew's coffee shop downtown. Okay, who are my peers? My peers are my neighbors on my block. But a franchise, my peers are every franchisee in that group. It could be hundreds, it could be thousands of them, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And that sort of dialogue builds. You can say, I never thought of that. And so I do some business coaching as well, and I have clients I've worked with during the last couple of months' time to retool their business. For example, you have $1,000 of inventory on the shelf. Inventory is cash, right? Turn it into cash. And how are you going to do that and make it easier for yourself? So the background in startups and turnarounds over the last 30 to 40 years, I learned all that sort of firsthand, taking firms out of bankruptcy. A lot of people haven't got that experience. They're kind of going, as you say, the sky's falling, but it's not falling. Chance to pivot, be positive, pivot in a positive manner, find new ways with your business, you scale back, cut out the waste. Interesting stat I read was that most business people have enough cash to get through roughly 27 days. That's the rent, the payroll, etc. Okay, so when we grew up as children, we were always taught to have at least 3 months emergency capital in the bank to cover you in case of disaster. Well, guess where we are, right? So when I talk to franchisees, I advise them the standard is 3 months operating capital. That's a standard. Say, what if? So if you have a what if scenario, does your spouse have enough money in his or her paycheck to put food in the fridge, close the kids back, gas in the car, pay utilities, pay the phone bill, whatever, in case your business goes sideways a couple months more than you thought it might go? So what's happening is people get into business and they're spending more than they're actually making, and they're eroding that liquid capital backstop they have. So that's where we are now then. But being positive is, now's the time to reassess your business and get it back to where it should have been for the last couple of years, and you have like a retool. You got maybe a little, like sort of living up the fatted calf, so to speak. Now's the time to repivot that thing and reorganize, recreate your business plan, recharge it, come back with new energy. And it's a great opportunity for that. There's a lot of things out there people can do with their business. It's not Chicken Little. If people are struggling, you might think a little bit sideways here is, okay, my business is kind of struggling. You can diversify and you can rebrand. So again, in the franchise world, rebranding is, I have, for example, a small graphic design shop, we'll say, just as an example. I can rebrand that, come back as a franchise in the graphic design, sign, marketing industry. I got my same clientele I've worked on for the last 5, 10, 20 years. I took them now to another level with somebody's help. You rebranded, you retooled, you pivoted in a positive way, and away you go. So it's not the end of the world. You have options available to you if you look at your tools that you've built on over the last number of years.
Okay, so are you saying to go from, you know, an independent business to a franchise and come back as a franchise? That's an option?
Absolutely. And people will be surprised, you know, again, I can pick this example just because it's an easy example, but,
Yeah.
I've got a graphic design or a small marketing business or a small independent sign shop. You can go to a franchisor. Happy to take anybody there who wants to go this direction and repivot it and rebrand yourself. What will happen is quite often, all these franchisors, because you've got that experience, minimizes your training and whatnot for them, and you have a clientele already, they'll give you a discount on some part of, we would negotiate that. I would negotiate for you, reduce franchise fee, reduce royalty for a period of time, something. We negotiate something. So this can be done, it is done, and the right person very successfully. You know, it can be done very, very successfully. There are, in Canada, great opportunities. I have probably well over 1,000 franchisors in my portfolio. And I know there's a whole bunch of them, like a mass of them, are dying to come to our country. You know, but they want that first franchisee. So if you have a coffee shop, a sign place, advertising agency, whatever it is you've got, home improvement company, whatever it is, kind of a deal, you want to go to the next level, these guys would have our discussion in a heartbeat, absolute heartbeat. And the advantage here now is, again, with the odd advantages of the silver lining of the cloud type of deal, is because the economy what it is right now, there's lower interest rates, small business loan packages, loan forgiveness for a few months of the year, up to 6 months' time. Okay. So now's the time to, get off the Netflix couch, do some research, and analyze your opportunities and say, you know what, I like where I am, or I go this path instead. Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. From that perspective, the financial perspective, you have the backing to get you off the ground. And like you say, and interest rates have never been where they are now, as low as they are now. So this is definitely an opportunity from that. Although some people, you know, people are cautious, and I did see something recently that said, you know, cutting your expenses is, you know, it's fine for some of it, but you can't cut because you're never going to grow.
Yeah,
right? Like you can you cut the stuff you don't need, but you can't just surviving. You can't keep surviving by cutting.
Yeah. Right? So for over 30 years, I worked in industry. I started my own business in my 20s, importing goods from around the world. Way before the internet, nobody even heard of the internet. Nobody even heard of Google at all. It wasn't even a word.
Right. Yeah.
And so I did it the hard way. I found companies in Japan and Europe, got the stuff, brought it to North America, sold to schools, clubs, universities around North America. And then I got into other industry. And you learn the way to grow a firm is to grow your top line or the bottom line. So I am a CPA, so I can be smart CPA, so I've been there, done that. I say it with tongue in cheek, is that the accountant will find a way to cut expenses. The marketing person will find a way to grow the top line and believe the bottom line will fall into place, kind of stuff, right? So you're right. You can cut, but pretty soon there's no more beef on the bone. Where do you go? You're done, exactly. Right? So the right way is to look at is the research the opportunity, and you identify, is this business profitable? Is my business profitable, first of all? Do I see growth potential or not? If looking at a franchise, do I like the people in the franchise to work with them? If in my own business, do I like who I'm working with? Meaning, not like them as I have a cup of coffee with them, but do I like them in the sense of they can grow my business? They get it, right? I mean, like in that regard, you know. So yeah, so you cut back as a first thing always. People just cut back right away. Okay, so I suggest to people is, do you need that fancy car in the driveway? Do you need the $1,000 shoes? Do you need the fancy coat? Do you need to go to the fancy holiday to Costa Rica, wherever you're going, or to France this year? Do you need? Can you cut back in private school? Can you cut whatever it is, kind of those personal type things that are totally personal and business oriented. Now, every expense you send right now, must either drive or continue the top line of your business, the sales side. If it doesn't continue or drive growth of top line, you got to cut it out or cut it back at the very least, right? That doesn't make sense. And you're cutting that expense, but you still have to spend some money because there's opportunities out there. So if I take $1 from you to spend it for $1 over here instead, is that going to make some business for me potentially? And that's not to take it out of the equation altogether, just reinvest it somewhere else, right? And that's where now you have to research pretty quickly. Don't need to follow sort of like a lemming over the cliff. Maybe yours is a little bit different for your business. Understand your business, your demographic, right? Who you're after, short-term, long-term, and you pivot in the right direction. But you can't get paralyzed by analyzing stuff. Paralysis by analysis. Look at it, be comfortably confident, make a decision, and just another phrase used for years when I coached a lot of sports was "now is good." So you do your analysis. Some point in time, you look in the mirror and say to yourself, "Now is good," right? And you make the move, a calculated risk. But there's opportunities there. Cutting expenses is a knee-jerk reaction. Cut the personal stuff, make it value-added. See the payback on this thing. Measure your ROI. But there's opportunities now for, typically speaking, in a new business investment. You look at maybe an ROI of 3 to 5, maybe even 6 years potentially, right? Okay, there's a franchise I work with a 3-month ROI, a home-based business, right? So whether you want to buy that franchise or not, actually apply for the franchise or not, is a moot point. So you need to look at your business and get your ROI, everything you spend, down to months, not years. You figure that part out, right? And I can assure people it can be done. It can be done, right? It takes some hard decisions. A lot of times you want to go outside the box and find a guy like me and say, you know what? I can't make the call on my own. I need someone to hold my hand, so to speak, and say, hold the hand and pat the back, say, it's a good decision. It makes sense based on my experience, yada, 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 right? So people want that. Find that mentor. Find that person who you trust and get their feedback, and then away you go. Make a positive move. Pivot in a positive manner. Now's the time.
Right. And there's a lot of people out there right now that are wanting to help. A lot, wanting to help and serve and be a mentor. There's a lot of people 100%. Wanting to share their knowledge right now. And this is also the time. They have the time. A lot of people do have the time to spend, like they're on Zoom, people who you might not have been able to get a hold of as easily. It's easier to kind of get a hold of them right now.
Opportunity is there. It's all over the place.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to look like going forward, though? It's hard to tell, but they're starting to open up a little. With this curbside pickup, I know that that for Home Depot and Canadian Tire, that was just a nightmare. It just didn't work well at all. I had to go to Home Depot twice, and it was an hour, 3 days to get your order ready, and then an hour you sit in line because it wasn't something that they were equipped to do.
You're right. So certain business models are geared to running a certain way. They've done it that way for an awful lot of years, and they may have the best intentions in the world. They just can't execute because the people. Again, with all due respect, the people, there's two kinds of business owners and managers, and when you manage your career, for example, I'm talking my son is in university, we're talking about this all the time, is that decide your path, big business or small business. It's a different way of thinking. It's the Home Depot kind of guys, Canadian Tire kind of guys, they're big business. Masses through the door, high transactions, modest margin, it's a volume gig. So now all of a sudden you got you, me, and others lined up outside the door in the parking lot for an hour and a half trying to pick up a box of screws. Doesn't make any sense. And it's absolutely ridiculous, right? So so the I think we're going to go is that the phrase "a new normal." There's always a new normal. Things evolve nonstop.
True. Exactly. I think it's just the fact that it's happening for everybody across all industries and really on a global basis. That everything's changing.
I had a talk with a guy in Detroit, an accountant in Detroit a few days ago. He has clients who want to pivot, to rebrand, a new business opportunity, whatever it is. So after a discussion, the way it went, I sent them a list of, I said, I'll send you a list of 10 franchisors that are available under $100,000 investment, with current franchisees making over $600,000 a year, proven, not just theory, right? And so that list of 10 became a list of 15 pretty quickly. And so people want to. My advice to people, if looking to get into business, is this: find one. People are enjoying remote work now quite a bit. I've known that for years and years and years. You're close to your family. You make all the school concerts, make the hockey game, the piano recital, you help with the home life kind of a deal. They're good ideas, in my opinion. So find an opportunity to get you closer to home, cuts up the waste of time commuting a couple hours a day. Could be home-based office, and ones where in the COVID situation, you could, if you need to, work without having a personal contact with the person. And that's a big list of business opportunities, quite frankly, right? And then there's that. Then how to look after the lockdown is lifted, whether it be 6 months, a year, whatever. So there's that one. And then say, okay, you know what? This one is historically a face-to-face or a touchy type business, but they are pivoting, as in they're actually doing it right now, a certain direction. So then the people who I would talk to the coaching aspect, work with right now, let's say, okay, your business is like this one that I work with in the franchise world quite a bit. You may not see the connection, but I see the connection, I'll explain it to them. So this is what they're doing. So curbside pickup is pretty cool, delivery, takeout, etc. Can you go online? Do you need to shrink your operation? Do you need that big office space? Do you need such a big store? Change your hours, right?
Yeah.
Can you change your hours? The store part, you caught in the lease. That's hard to get out of that one right there. I understand that part, right? But look where you are. 6 months to go in the lease. We have 6 years to go in the lease. That'll drive the discussion, obviously, what you're going to do. So I think we need to be back to a semi-normal situation within 3 to 4 months' time. Personally, I believe right now, capitalism is driving common sense. I'm more conservative. I think we're all hurting for income. Totally get that, 100%, right? But I'd rather be broke for a month longer than be in the hospital on my back, quite frankly. That's a pretty easy choice. So
right, and the other concern is too, if if we see second wave coming through, and then peaking, and then we have to shut down again, and then we have to shut down longer. That we don't want. That's for sure.
That rebound will be, it's like a whiplash type thing. People go positive, get out there, they get careless. Like schools,
well, that's the concern, because people's memories are short.
I would just, if I was like, for example, working with a salon right now, a franchisee of a salon in downtown Toronto. And so we talk about a guy right now on Instagram, et cetera, marketing your inventory, get some cash flow going, doing it online, free delivery. It's awesome. And so then we got in that regard there. It's funny, you know what? Okay, I can pay the bills if I do this. So she said, well, what do I do? I said, are you kidding me? This is obvious. So we're doing that. Another one is like a butcher. Okay, someone come into your store, deliver the meat to people, right? Take it to their homes.
Right.
You find a way. And so what I said to them is like, do this. Every delivery you make, you put in your doorstep. You ring the doorbell. You call on your phone. If you ring your doorbell, put your finger in your sleeve, right? Don't do the bare finger. It's sort of for them and for you. So give them a phone call, text message. Your delivery's here. On every delivery, you put a little card. Say, thank you for your business. I really appreciate it. And just sign like Andrew, Michelle, whatever your name is, right? And put a gift card in there. The gift card then tells you value the business. Here's a $30 gift card for you, or a $10 gift card, whatever it is. Just look forward to seeing you again. So when things open up again, come back to my shop. The gift card is $20, $30, $10, whatever it is. It's a freebie. Yeah. It's a freebie, right?
So you could just do a percentage, say, whatever percentage of what, based on what they've ordered. Yeah.
Exactly, right? That then you took care of them by the curbside delivery to their porch. You gave a discount. You gave a thank you note. That now helps you build your business when we do reemerge. And now just manage that reemergence part of that thing. Don't get greedy. If you have a salon with say 10 chairs, don't fill all 10 chairs. Fill maybe 2 chairs or 3 chairs or 1 chair. People feel safe in your shop. They'll come back to your shop.
I think there's going to be some guidelines with that.
Well, they're pretty loose right now. From what I'm hearing,
Are
they're
they?
kind of
Okay.
pretty. Yeah, there's guidelines, but they're kind of sketchy, I guess I'd say, for lack of a better phrase, right? So
Yeah,
common
no, because
sense
I'm
rules.
just, yeah, I was just worried about the places like that, the hair salons and the nail salons, because those people are people that can't operate right now because it's all hands on. Like you say, the hair salon selling their inventory, but the hair services themselves. I do know
Yep.
I do know somebody who is a hairstylist, and what she was doing is she's doing Zoom
Yep.
hair coaching, if you want to call
Yep.
it, and I'll watch you while you cut your son's hair, or you
Yep.
cut your own hair, or something
Well,
like that, or
yeah.
try and attempt dyeing it, I guess. But
Exactly. So right now, your business has shrunk. Going to your point, the cutting cost before, right? Going back to that thing. How do you grow
yeah,
the business? Okay, so I can't cut hair, I can't dye hair, etc.
no,
I can be educational and informative. I'm on Zoom.
right,
Give me a call, send me an email, send me a text. I'm going to cut my spouse's hair, my kid's hair this evening at 7:00 p.m. Right, let's log on. What's it going to cost me? Nothing. It costs you nothing, right? You get 15 minutes of time on Zoom. I can tell you what to have, what you need, away you go. And the way that works is kind of like this. There's some Medi-Spa franchises, for example, where a nurse does various procedures. The doctor is not on site. The doctor is on call. So they take a picture of, say, like, it won't be me, obviously, but say like a woman, so something like you. They'll take a picture. Here's Michelle today, right now. Instead of a live picture, here it is right there. Great. The nurse does a procedure. Then after she's done, takes a picture again of Michelle, sends it to the doctor. He says, okay, there's swelling under their eyes, or there's this or that, whatever. She's good, or that's normal, it's abnormal, whatever. So the hairstylist, the barber, many of the industries do exactly the same thing. Show me the before, show me the after, then we'll discuss the after. Can we fix it, not fix it, or whatever it is? Is your haircut so bad it's divorce material, or is it just gonna be a burned dinner material? Right? Just kind of, but so this kind of engagement, you adopt from other industries, bring your industry, and the idea is you may make the sales today, but think long term.
yeah, exactly.
You plan to reopening business again. Don't think today, this hour, this minute, even though you're broke, and I get that part. It's hard not to think about that. I totally understand. I'm not naive, and I'm not rich either, so don't worry about that influencing my decisions. It's think long term, right? So in a salon, picking them again is reassess how you use your space. Are you renting chairs? How much staff do you have? Can I go online with people as a coach, educate people, give them the free gift card deliveries? These ways build up. So now when we get back into business, you should have a line of people dying to come to your business because you treated them right in the last few months' time. And
Exactly. And
yeah.
people remember that, you'll be top of mind. And when it comes to hair salons and nail salons, even though we're doing whatever we can to get by right now, it's not going to replace it. Like, especially, you're not gonna all of a sudden always be cutting your hair at home. I mean, I guess there are some people might be doing that, but I know I won't be. And it's a different story.
I cut at home every day.
You're okay.
But you're right. Yeah. But the pivot goes to with a beauty park, for example. Some of my favorite franchises are in the home improvement industry. Okay, so I can fix your screens on your house, your cottage, whatever it is, your porch, your enclosure, your patio. I can do window repairs for you. I can fix your garage door. I can build you a deck. I can do all that landscaping. I can do decorative concrete in your driveway or the curbs. I can do all that and never touch you. And it's like you talk to the window, the door to me outside working. I take a picture. I send you a picture and say, okay, right here, bottom of the picture is what I'm going to fix for you, right? And a lot of these franchisors are pretty cool. And these are my favorites. They have a centralized call center. So you have on your card, side of your truck, your vehicle, whatever it is, your social media marketing, your website, a phone number. I dial that number, it goes to central call center. Could be Orlando, it could be Denver, it could be Pittsburgh, it could be wherever it is, Toronto. I don't know, right? Doesn't matter. There's actually one in the States does it for Spanish-speaking people, goes to one in Orlando, Florida. It's kind of cool. So people call your number, it goes to the call center. On the call center is an expert in your industry, right? They take the phone call, they say, Michele, please describe to me your screen door that's broken. Great. So it's like it's a 3x6 or whatever the measurement is. What's the damage? Okay, great. How many windows do you have? Great. So they'll spec it out, give you a ballpark estimate. They call me, goes into my scheduling, right? I say, okay, I've got to go see Michele 2 o'clock today. Perfect. Away I go. I have your number. I text you. Hi, Michele. It's Andrew from wherever the franchise is. I'm outside in front of your house right now for a 2 o'clock appointment. Is the window of the door, the front house, or the back of the house? It's the back of the house, Andrew. Great. I walk to the back of the house, not through the house. You meet me through the door. We talk. I do the entire job, payment, everything. We never touch.
Right.
And these are, so people, if you already have a business, I was saying earlier, you can rebrand with a franchise, or we can take these ideas and bring it to your business. These guys, franchises are big. Their money's made of royalties. No sales, no money for you, the franchisee, money for them, the franchisor. Let's borrow their ideas for your independent business, help you adapt as well, and get through this time in a positive way.
Yes, right. Yeah, exactly. And some of these ideas and some of these adaptations that are being done right now are, they may continue. They may be things that you've decided. Like I know for some people who would do live events and have now gone to online events. Well, going forward, they're going to continue with the online and have live events, because when you've got the online, you can capture the whole global audience. Yeah. Maybe scale back on your live events. I don't know. It really depends, but there's opportunity there to do things differently.
Totally agree with you, Michele. I think what people have to understand here is we come to the situation. This is not to be sounding kind of cavalier here, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. There's a negative and the positive.
Hopefully this doesn't happen again.
Well, I'm more of a glass half full kind of a guy, right? So I believe no matter how bad it rains, there's a positive. The flowers come out, the grass is greener, right? So you find the positive here. So as you said, is a great point, Michele, is that there's a chance for people to learn a new way of doing their business, right? That the new curbside, online, whatever the service is, it's a new way of doing business, cutting expenses or pivoting your marketing somewhere else kind of a deal, right? Or instead of being in a hall with 100 people, you're online instead, meeting people that way. People, I suggest people is what you learn right now, the next few months, don't stop doing it.
Right.
So I saw a thing in CBC last night about a lady who had I think it was like a hobby shop type store. I'm pretty sure it was downtown Toronto. I'm not quite sure where she was. I didn't quite catch that part. And they talked to a guy who came by with his young son, I think it was, to pick up a bag of stuff they had bought online from her or over the phone with her. So you know what? A curbside pickup, don't drop it.
No.
Your door's open again, you're busy again. You might think, oh, what a nuisance. Really? That's a great way to do it. People are busy. They're going, like I was a single parent for years, so still am. My son's in university now. So we were just one-on-one, him and I, since he was 2 years old. And I had a great career, executive career in private industry. But man, we were busy. Education, top level sports, whatever. Time was a crunch. If I could drive by a store
and just
a
get
bag at the front door and jump back in the car in 2 seconds, I would have loved that. Absolutely. Yeah. Hockey stick, pair of socks, hockey tape. Are you kidding me? That'd have been.
I know.
So
exactly. So for the stores that can do this curbside pickup, okay, like the small independent stores, not necessarily, Home Depot and things like that, unless they improve it. I mean, I think it's a great concept, but they're not equipped to, they'd have to change drastically to be able to handle that.
Well, yeah, they're trying to fill a gap, keep cash flow, go and get a few employees working, but in order to make that work, years ago, I worked with General Motors in Calgary in their warehouse, and it's same kind of an idea. So calls would come in from all the dealers all over Alberta and Saskatchewan. Same concept as Home Depot, right? The calls
Yep.
come in, come to the door, wherever it is. They had dozens of us pickers who go through the warehouse and pick these
Right.
orders and
Yep.
bring it to a loading area, a staging area. Home Depot needs to imitate that GM warehouse or a Chrysler, whoever warehouse.
Yeah, they'd have to
Get
have that.
pickers.
I mean, it becomes like a smaller version of Amazon or something, with
100%
warehouse and picking and all that. So,
Yeah, so
but for a small independent store, the curbside's great for sure. And you know what? Also, I had my tires changed over from the winter tires to summer tires at the dealer, and I went, dropped it off, put in the key in the box. You don't go in like normally. They had just built the drive-through thing that you drive in.
Yeah.
But so I dropped it, whatever. And then when it was ready, I did an online payment, and then it was out there in the lot with the key locked in, as long as I had a second key, which I had. But it was so much easier to me than going and driving through there, or having to go inside and wait and then pay, and you wait for the guy to bring your car and all that. It was, to me, it was great. And doing online payment and everything, I thought it just made it a lot easier.
Yeah, the automotive sector is actually 2 points here. The automotive sector is a great spot right now with our current economy, and it's a great spot. The second point is for passive ownership. You know, automobile trading. When you diversify, your investments are hurting, whatever it is, buy an automotive franchise. They make great money, good margins, all kinds of economies. You're right. So remember, for years, I'd drop out the car somewhere, put the keys in the drop box, either walk to the office or get a ride to the office. Mr. Hoffman, your car is ready. Great. As you say, you can pay over the phone, or you're walking to service, keep the distance, and just you pay. It is, to me, the automotive industry, or the repair side at least, is made to measure for this economy. It is, if any of those guys are hurting in the automotive trade, please call me right away, as fast as you can. Like right this second, call me. My phone is right here. Call me immediately. It is made to measure for a bad economy, a health crisis like today. It's perfect for it. And so people that are the small little garage, for example, like Andrew's garage in a back street somewhere. Again, what are the big guys in the block doing? Talk to them, look at them, figure what they're doing, and imitate them. Monkey see, monkey do. Right? You may have the website, but you know what? They can drop off their car. They need to talk to them. You complete the work. Say, "Hi, Mr. Hoffman, your car is ready. Can I lock your keys in the car? Give a second set of keys." Yes, you do. Great. Okay. How do you want to pay? Okay. You know what? So, like when I buy groceries, I go in line and I pay with the card. So I load the belt. The cashier runs it through. I load the belt. I step back a little bit. Cashier runs it through. Goes down the little turnstile to the end. Cashier steps back. I walk by. I'm now about 10 feet away from the cashier. I bag it and I leave. In between, I put my finger in my sleeve. I tap the card or the key punch thing, whatever, and I'm gone. The guy, the little automotive car shop guy, the small player, exact same thing. Keys are dropped off, work on the car, put it back outside, put the keys in the car, come to pick it up. I get, here's the pad, the terminal, the process payment. I can step away from this thing while you do all that. When you're done, step back, please. I'll step forward.
Yeah.
Right? And for that moment, you put on some plastic gloves and a mask or whatever, right? But there's many ways to get the details of that thing figured out, but they should copy the big guys, right? Just, and like you say, the drive-through oil change. Right. Keep the windows up. But currently, you put your window down. How can I help you, Michelle? I need an oil change, yada, 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 right?
Yeah.
Keep the window up, talk to the window. That is so easy. You find a way. A lot of business owners are smart business people in many different ways. The key right now is to develop your creative skills. Think outside the box. Look at me and be honest. Say, you know what? I'm not a creative guy. Be honest with yourself, right? And say, okay, you know what? I need help being creative. Okay, you know what? You're great at selling. You're great at maybe at finance, accounting, at payroll, HR, all that kind of stuff, right? Great product knowledge. but you're very creative. Just be honest about it. Look in the mirror and say, I'm not that person. I need a bit of help, and find a creative mind who can sit down with you, say, or a cup of coffee, like this, not literally, but or like in a Zoom meeting,
Right.
a cup of
Yeah,
coffee,
exactly.
and just throw the ideas at the wall, see what sticks. And say,
Yes.
hate that. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Let's explore that one. And so you find a person who's run the block once or twice, done a few business things, got some little bit tread left their tire, but it's mostly worn off, and you kind of just do that, and you'll find a way. If you're even at the hobby shop, you may find a creative idea from a tire business guy to run your business. Look outside your industry, outside your box. Look down the street. There's ways of doing this thing that can make you do fairly well. At the very least, cover your expenses.
Right.
There's a guy at CBC Radio about a month and a half ago. The two guys, CBC. I love CBC, by the way, and watch it all the time. And it's they had a restaurateur in Calgary and a restaurateur in the downtown Toronto. The guy in Calgary was inside a mall-type location, and he pivoted in a heartbeat, doing takeout delivery immediately, customizing orders for people that were normally on his menu. He was in a positive mood, right? And I covered my payroll, covered my rent, covered my expenses. I won't be pretty, but I'm good to go. The guy in Toronto says, we don't do takeout delivery in our restaurant. I said, seriously? In a month's time, you won't have a restaurant. And he said, I can't afford to pay bills for a month. A month? You're kidding me, right? You've got 30 days of rent or payroll? Wow.
Yeah.
And he said, I will not do takeout delivery my business. I want a government bail to cover my rent. Seriously. You have customers. You should have captured their data in a client database. So you email them, text them, whatever, specials opportunity. You didn't do that part. It's hard to feel sorry for you. I mean, I feel sorry, but it's hard.
Well, yeah,
if
they're not willing to be creative and, step into doing things differently, then you're not going to survive.
If your first option is getting a bailout, you're in very good shape. You're in very good shape intellectually, really. So
right, exactly. That's what it is. And with business, so much is about mindset, right?
100%. You got to be coachable. Whoever you are, you must be coachable, right?
Yes.
You may not like me, you may not like you, you may not like Donald Duck or Goofy the dog, but somebody out there can coach you. Let them coach you. Talk to them and listen, right? Don't just hear the words. Listen to the words they're saying. Understand it and apply it, right? Hearing and listening are two different things. And people at times hear, they'll listen, and they're not really coachable. So that guy in Toronto is like, oh my. I looked at him. Yeah. He's on CBC the National on a weeknight.
Got the opportunity. Look at the
people
opportunity.
People are seeing you. It's like that's not a very creative business owner. And it's like, wow, wrong forum. Like, but with a guy in Calgary, if I lived in Calgary, I'd have called my stay for an order. You're upbeat, you're positive, you're a great guy. I would have put some money in your pocket in a heartbeat. A heartbeat.
Exactly. And that's what people need to understand. That's, people do business with people that they like.
Oh.
And, and if I were to see somebody like that who just says, oh, forget it, I want a government bailout, then I'm never going to order from you, even if you did offer.
Well, you're not my kind of guy. I like people who are, even if we're a white collar, I want a blue collar attitude. I don't care how you dress. It's the attitude I'm interested in. Sort of, God helps those who help themselves. Who am I to help them if God won't help you? So it's just kind of like, just get it going. It's people that look outside the box, look for coaching, look for tips here and there. Just your ideas, suggestions are all around you. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and there's so many people willing to help. Like you say, sit down for, do a Zoom mastermind with a few people in different industries. I've already done that actually twice. I had opened it up to people. We just got together and talked about different options. So
and the fact something could be small is irrelevant. Big firms started small as well. Canadian Tire started in a garage, right?
Yeah.
So they're long. So a 15 Tire today versus the garage days, who is more adaptable, the garage days or today? The garage guys, the brothers, the Biles brothers, when they first started out in the garage, they could flip on a switch. They could turn a dime and go a different direction. Those guys are adaptable. So they're far from that anymore. So even though you're small, You learn from the big guys' history, where they
Yes.
started, how they started, what they did in the early days. So big, borrow, and steal the ideas. You got to survive, right? Be open-minded and coachable.
Yeah. And like you say, adaptable. I mean,
Yep.
like you have to just realize that change is a constant. There's always going to be change, and you can't resist it. It's all how you look at it, and there's so much opportunity.
It's dramatic right now, but maybe for the lucky people, they'll do the severe change right now. They'll have a mindset change as well for the rest of the time they own their business. They'll now look at things more proactively for adapting change, seeking change, not waiting for it to come to them, but seeking change. And if they're lucky, that mindset change will set in these few months right now. To hopefully the more the merrier, quite frankly.
Yes, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Andrew. I think we've gone over a bit, but that's okay.
Sorry.
I will put your information underneath this interview when I put it up as well.
Okay.
And it was great talking to you about everything. I look forward to, speaking to you in the future, and so many opportunities out there. I look forward to what business is going to look like going forward.
Yep. Best of luck to all your audience, and hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Michele.
All right, everyone. See you later.
Bye.